Me again, he said, from Zetster's Lab. This is the third video of how I am showing you how to bleach and then create a little summer dress. But as I was stitching, I thought I want to share something with you. Remember how I told you in my previous video about the gardener coming and they don't have any food, it's lockdown, it's day 8. The little money they had gone, no food, nothing in the home. And this made me think back, in 2006 my husband and I went to Kenya. I was always writing. Whatever the Spirit leads me, I started to write that down about in the year 2000. I don't know, I'm just an ordinary housewife, but I just want to write whatever the life in me tells me. So I wrote it down on a website at that stage. I had a website. And then all of a sudden, people of all over the world read my writings and my spiritual writings. And all of a sudden, 6 people from 6 different ministries in Kenya wrote to me and said, will I please come and visit them? I said, oh gosh. At that stage, we didn't have money to go. We were really also just making ends meet. And miraculously, they all lived in a 300-kilometer radius from one another. And from all the people in the world, 6 people, 300 kilometers, living in a 300-kilometer radius, asked me to come and visit. I mean, if that's not a sign. So I told my husband, he just said, oh, well, if the Spirit is leading you, let's go. And then miraculously, we got money to go. So long story short, we went. And I just felt that we need to go and spend 2 days with each person that invited us. Stay in their homes, eat what they eat, travel the way they travel, just share their lives. And then whatever the Spirit in me wanted me to share with them, I shared. So we went. It was the most wonderful experience ever. There's the 2 of us, hubby and myself, going into really Kenya's rural areas. In some places, they've never even seen a white person. The little children were just screaming and running away when they see myself and my husband. And the others were always screaming, rich Americans, rich Americans. The more we tried to explain to them, no, we're Africa. We're your brothers from Africa. It took a while until they realized that. But let me tell you, after half an hour spending with those people, they became family and we cried like babies after the 2 days when we had to say goodbye. It was just that connection of spirit to spirit, of just this deep spiritual family that we went. At first you get fright because we're white and they black, and then after half an hour it's just gone. It's just family. So yes, but what I actually want to say is, in the middle of this mission trip, call it what you want, Herman just thought, my husband, you need to go and rest, because listen, I was ministering and talking and sharing for hours each day. It was just amazing. And we were traveling and it was hard. I mean, we traveled 8 hours on 300 kilometers. It was that bad in the back of an old Pajero, raining through the sunroof. So yes, we did it. Learn all about drop toilets, outside toilets. It was rough. I mean, really rough. I'm from Africa. I'm from South Africa. But I mean, I live in first world. In the first world, in the third world. And it was the first time that I really lived with people that's living the third world country life. That's how I can say it. And then in the middle of this trip, we landed in this Rondo retreat, this most beautiful place in the middle of near Lake Kisumu in Kisii, Kenya. And later we found out it's been run by 2 missionaries. At that stage, they were quite old. They were deep in their 70s. And for those elderly people to travel, they lived in Nairobi, so they had to travel that terrible dirt roads. It was just crazy to try and travel it. You actually travel next to the road because there is no road. More potholes than anything else. And there we met that couple. Long story short. I think they're from Germany eventually, but her parents stayed in Kenya. And then, in the midst of everything, when I got there, I really was wasted. And I just thought, and I had this struggle in me. Why are we rich compared to these wonderful people? They're not different than us. They're just as wonderful and beautiful, and the life in them is the same life in us. And why do they struggle so much? Because really there's no toilets and no water in the homes, and most of these people were looking after orphans. Or in Nairobi, we went to the Congolese refugees camp, and they helped there. And so it was people who have nothing that shared everything they have with orphans. Or everybody just gave, and I thought, ridiculous. I thought, but why? Why do I have so much and these people so little? Until I got to the elderly couple, the Dutch couple living in Kenya. And I asked him, but why are you still here? Why are you still in Kenya? Why haven't you left with the rest of the white people? And they say, because it's our place. That's where we need to be. This is just our place. And they invited us for our last night. We didn't have anywhere to stay our last night, to come and stay with them in Nairobi. So we landed with them in Nairobi at the end of this awesome trip. And they had the most beautiful home. Part of their home was actually another country's officials lived in half of the house, and they lived in another. And really they lived like we live in South Africa. And the spirit in me, the life in me just said, all of us got a different job. We are all born into this realm in a different place, to do a different work, to play a different part. No one is more important than the other. Everyone just have a different part to play. And that gave me so much peace. And then I realized, but I'm not here for myself. I'm not here in this beautiful house in sunny South Africa for myself. I'm here to just be what I need to be, because I'm part of the whole, part of the one spirit. And my job is my job. And the only way that I can really help the rest of the body, let's call it the body, let's call it the organism. I'm just one little cell in that huge organism. And my job is to really just learn to walk with the life, the spirit in me. And by just walking with that life, by just allowing the life in me to just pour through me, so that I can do whatever the life in me wants to do. I myself no longer lives. Remember what Paul said, but the Spirit is now living the life through him. That's where we need to be. And even those people in Kenya living in the rural areas, in really poverty-stricken areas, they were also part of the body, of the life, of the organism. And the life lived through them and touching everybody that they came in contact with. The same with me. I was sent there by the life in me, the spirit in me, to go and give those people a message that they needed to hear so that they could continue on with their life. So each one of us is here to just be. So all we need to do is just make peace with where we are and just find that life in us, surrender our way, our whatever, our life, to just allow the life in us to just live through us and touch and do whatever that life wants to do. So this is what I wanted to share with you. So you are exactly where you need to be. You're exactly doing what you need to be doing. Just relax, just surrender. So spirit in me, life in me. Do whatever you want to do. No one is more important. No one is less important. Those people there in Kenya, those two missionaries, they opened schools and feeding schemes and whatever, and then they had this wonderful retreat in the middle of nowhere that was just like an oasis where we could just rest for this 2 days so that we could go on to do what the spirit in us wanted to do through us at that stage. Then I came back and I thought, I'm going to travel the world, and I'm still here, and it is 14 years later. But that's fine. So that's what I said. I mean, when our gardener came this morning and he said there's nothing at home, all I could do is just allow the life in me to touch him. And now he's going back. I hope this message, first of all, makes sense to you, and second of all, just gave you peace that you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Just make peace with your journey. Just realize you're not doing anything wrong. The spirit in you is just living his life through you. Whatever that means. We all have a specific job. No one's job is bigger or smaller. Just make peace with your journey. And just allow the life in you to just pour through you. Even when you make a cup of tea for somebody, or give someone food, or just where you are enough. You are exactly who and what you are supposed to be. And the life in you is all that you need. That life will lead you, guide you, protect you, provide for you. So let me get back to my little dress. I'm nearly done with the first one. I'm not sure how it's going to come out, but who doesn't care? I'm just doing this day what the life in me wants me to do. Talking to you, making a dress, making food. Just be. Love you lots. Talk again. Zetster from Zetster's Lab signing out.